Hello and welcome to our next live stream for oral training for ABRSM exams. So, before we get into it properly, please do introduce yourselves because in this particular live stream we will be doing some interactive games, as it were. If you're watching this live, please don't rewind back to the beginning because then you'll miss the interactive games, because I'll be playing some ABRSM and Trinity Aural examples, and you will find that you won't be able to answer the questions live with the actual tests if you're watching it from the beginning. So just skip forward if you need to refresh the page, and then you'll be able to join in live. So please do introduce yourselves. Now, in today's particular live stream, I want to go through cadences. Now, cadences is worth practicing for those who are doing grades 6, 7 and 8 in ABRSM, and also for those who are doing grades 4 and 5 for Trinity College. So, if you're taking any of those grades, it'll be useful for you, and also you'll find that it'll be good preparation for those who may be taking slightly lower grades. So, cadences. Now, in ABRSM, a grade 5 oral, you need to recognise perfect and imperfect cadences. Okay? Now, a perfect cadence is when it sounds finished at the end of a particular phrase. It's like it doesn't need to carry on. And an imperfect cadence, it sounds unfinished. So, first of all, I'm going to play you a cadence, and hopefully those who you are watching live with me now will be able to interactively answer the question. And I'd like you to tell me at the end whether you think it sounds finished or unfinished. In other words, is it perfect or imperfect? Okay, so here is our first cadence. Okay, you get a key chord normally in the exams. And here is the phrase. Okay, so first of all, could you say whether that sounded finished or unfinished? Did the phrase sound like it was a full stop at the end, or let's say a comma at the end, like there was something else that was going to continue afterwards? Now, it seemed to have a little bit of delay in people getting online with this, so hopefully a few people more will join in sooner or later. But for those of you watching the repeat of this, that one sounded finished at the end. Now, can you remember which one of the cadences, perfect or imperfect, sounds finished? The answer would be perfect cadence. Okay, let's try a few more, and hopefully some of you can join in with the actual interactive tests. Again, I'll repeat that if you're watching this live and you've just repeated back to the beginning so you can watch from the beginning, don't do so now. You can watch the repeat later. It'll be going up on my channel, but watch it live. Maybe refresh the actual stream so that you'll be watching it live, and then you can join in with the interactive quizzes that we're going to be doing. Okay? Here is another phrase. That's a key chord. Okay, now, did that one sound like it was finished or unfinished? I'll play it again for you, give you a chance to answer. I'll play them twice. Okay. Now, in that particular one, did it sound like it wants to carry on, like there was a comma at the end of a phrase? Or did it sound like that was the end of the statement, a full stop at the end? Okay, the answer would be it sounded unfinished, like there was a comma at the end. And can you remember which of the two cadences refers to a phrase that sounds unfinished? Is it perfect or imperfect? Again, the answer would be an imperfect cadence. Now in the past this has been quite a fun live stream oral where it's almost been like a competition who can get the answer in first. So please do join in with the chat, and if I ask a question and you're watching live, then write down the answer in the chat and we'll see who gets the answers first. Okay? So here is another one. I'll give you a key chord. This time it's in a minor key. And here is a phrase. I'll play it twice, give you a chance to answer. Okay, that is for your first time. Now, can you say whether that was perfect or imperfect? In other words, was it finished or unfinished? Here is the phrase again. Okay, in the lack of anyone actually answering in the chat, I will tell you that that one was unfinished, so it is an imperfect cadence. Okay, here's another one. There is a key chord. And here is your phrase. Okay, now I'm going to play it a second time, give you a chance to answer in the chat. That one, did it sound finished or unfinished? Please do join in. Okay, I'm going to remind you, those of you who might have just opened up the live stream and thought, oh, I'll go back to the beginning so I can watch it all. You can watch it all later. It will be on the channel later, okay? But skip forward to the actual live moment so you can join in with these questions. I'll play the phrase one more time. Okay, the answer would be it sounded finished. In other words, it was a perfect cadence. Now, let's do one more of these grade 6 ABRSM or grade 4 Trinity tests and tell me whether the phrase was perfect, or the cadence was perfect or imperfect at the end of the phrase. Here is a key chord. Do we have any takers, or are we all just going to sit there and listen and wait for the answer? Okay, you'll get it a second time. Here is a key chord again. And the answer to that one would be, it was a perfect cadence. Now, as I said, this goes through cadences from grade 6 all the way up to grade 8 in ABRSM and from grades 4 and 5 in Trinity. In grade 7 ABRSM and also in grade 5 Trinity, you have to recognise an interrupted cadence. Now, an interrupted cadence is very easy to recognise because it changes the modality of the piece. So, for example, if a piece started in a major key and the final chord of the phrase was a minor key, that would be an interrupted cadence. And vice versa. So if we started the phrase in a minor key and the last chord was a major chord, that would also be an interrupted cadence. So I'm going to give you a few grade 7 cadences and see if you can work out whether they are now perfect, imperfect, or interrupted. Okay. Let's try this one. So here is a key chord. I will play it a second time. Finally, someone is joining in, Jackie Goff. And thank you very much for your answer. That was actually a perfect cadence, so well done, Jackie. Okay, now, let's go on to a second one. This one is going to be in a minor key. Okay, so was that a perfect cadence, an imperfect cadence, or an interrupted cadence? Let's see if anyone else will join in. We had one answer from Jackie a minute ago. I'll play it a second time, give you a chance to answer. Okay, now that one sounded like it wasn't quite finished. It wasn't a full stop, like it wants to go on, like a comma at the end of a phrase. So the answer would be imperfect. We didn't have any takers for that one. Let's see if anyone can answer for the next phrase, also in a minor key. Is the cadence at the end of this phrase perfect, imperfect, or interrupted? Did that sound finished, unfinished, or like it changed the modality from, in this case, minor into major? I'll play it a second time, give you a chance to answer. Here is your key chord again, and your phrase. Okay, that one sounded like there was a full stop at the end. The piece started in a minor key and the last chord was minor, and it sounded finished, which would make it a perfect cadence. Okay, here goes for a fourth one of the grade 7 possibilities. Right, we're going to start in a major key this time. is your phrase. Was that perfect, imperfect, or interrupted? Okay, Jackie's going for an imperfect. Do we have any other takers there? I'll play it a second time. Aurora B says it's interrupted. Let's hear it a second time. Okay, I would have to say that in that round, Aurora B won the prize. It was an interrupted cadence, but why? Okay, as I said, we're in a major key. If you listen to the last chord carefully, it's minor. An interrupted cadence will change to a minor modality at the cadence point. It sounds like it wants to finish. Okay, for example, it could have finished like this. Now that would be perfect, but it sort of just switched at the last moment into a minor surprise. Also, the interrupted cadences sound like they, oh, that was unexpected. They've just gone suddenly into a minor key when you weren't expecting it. Have a listen once more to the last few chords. Okay? All right. Okay, let's do a couple more of these. All right, perfect, imperfect, or interrupted. So here is a key chord, the same key chord. Okay, I'll give it to you a second time. See if anyone can come up with the answer first. Who's going to get the first correct answer? I do realise that sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with the internet and your answers coming through to what I'm actually playing for about 15 seconds. So I'll give you a little bit of time and see if anyone, Aurora or Jackie, who are participating at the moment, can come up with the answer to that one. Did it sound finished or unfinished, or the little surprise change to a different key? Come on, I can see there are a few people online at this moment, and be brave. No takers? Okay, I will tell you the answer. It was imperfect. It sounded unfinished, like it wants to carry on with another phrase. Last few chords. That's not the end. There's something to come after. Imperfect cadence. Okay, let's go on to another one of these. In a minor key, you noticed, okay? Okay, now I'll play it to you a second time and see if you can get the perfect, imperfect, or interrupted cadence at the end. Okay. Now I don't know if Aurora or Jackie have gone offline, but they were the participants so far. Any takers for that particular question? Ah, Jackie's still with us. And you're going for an imperfect cadence. Unfortunately, we have one of the other two options. Sorry, Jackie, it's not imperfect. It does sound unfinished. I understand what you're saying there. And Aurora's going for perfect. But unfortunately, it's the third option. Let's go through why. Okay, it's an interrupted. We start in a minor key. Now, first of all, I'm just going to play you the very last chord. It's a major chord. And if you remember, the interrupted cadence does a little switch right at the end to surprise you and goes into the other modality, from minor to major or major to minor. I'll play the whole phrase again, see if you can hear that switch. Can you hear it? This is how it should have ended if it were a perfect cadence. That's the perfect cadence. All right, minor chord. But this one, and we switch to the major. Okay, Dan the man has joined us as well. Okay, right, now let's go on to another one. I think you're finding this useful because you're not getting it right. Don't worry if you're not getting it right, that's what training is for. Okay, here is a key chord. Now first of all, think to yourself, is that a minor or a major chord? Okay, here is your phrase. I'll play it a second time, give you a chance to answer. We have 3 participants at the moment. Jackie, Aurora or Dan the man. Let's see. Any takers? Just wait a few seconds for the internet connection. Yes, Dan the man, you are correct. It is imperfect cadence. By the way, an extra little reward for you. I'm not sure if you were, yes, well done Aurora. Probably your internet connection was a little bit slower. And Jackie, you're right, it's not perfect. If your internet connection is a little bit slower, maybe I'm not seeing your answers straight away. And someone with a faster internet connection, even though they might have answered later than you, might get in there first. There's nothing I can do about that, but well done all 3 of you. Also, a little reward for you if you do partake and participate in this live stream. It's a new feature on YouTube now, that these chats, they never used to be visible when the video was replayed later on. Okay, so after this live stream is finished, and then you look for it on the channel, in the past, all the chats disappeared. Now, you'll see all the chats on the replay. So you can watch your answers and people can see whether you've answered it correctly or incorrectly. A little bit of pressure maybe, or maybe a little bit of reward if you get the answers right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's try another one. Here is a key chord. Okay, and here is your phrase, is the cadence at the end, perfect, imperfect, or interrupted. Okay, right now, Dan the man is going for perfect. I'll give a few other people a chance to hear it, and maybe their internet connection's a bit slower. And get a second playing anyway. And Jackie's joined in and also said it's a perfect cadence, and you are both correct. Well done, both of you. Although Dan the man, internet connection or otherwise, got in there first. Okay, let's do one more of these and then we're going to make it a little bit harder. Okay, here is another key chord. Okay, and here is your phrase. Okay, and I'll give it to you a second time, give you a chance to answer. Key chord. Okay, Jackie's gone for interrupted and Dan the man has gone for imperfect. Right, I will play you just the key chord and the last chord. Here is your key chord and the last chord. Now the first chord was major and the last chord was minor. So that would make Jackie the winner in this round with an interrupted cadence. Okay. We're going to step up again now with grade 8. Now, this is also in grade 5 Trinity, so in terms of cadences, Trinity is a long way ahead of ABRSM, but in Trinity, yes, you have interrupted in grade 5, and you also have Plagal cadences. Now, Plagal cadences also sound finished, but they don't sound quite as strong as a perfect cadence. So, just give you a little example. Here's your key chord of C major, and a strong, bold finish, like that. Okay? Is a perfect cadence. A Plagal cadence will sound finished, but not quite so strongly. That is a Plagal cadence. Now, a lot of people call it the Amen cadence because at the end it sounds a little bit like Amen. So let's see if we can define between perfect, imperfect, interrupted and Plagal this time. Alright, it's going to be a bit trickier. Let's have a go. We'll start with this key chord. Play that a second time. Do we have any takers? First of all, did it sound finished or unfinished? And then again, if it was finished, was it a strong finish or a Amen type finish? Or did it change key from a minor to a major, major to a minor? We're not, we have, well done Jackie, it was a Plagal cadence. Now that was quite tricky, so you're about a grade 8 oral standard. Okay, you put Plagal with a question mark on the comments. I understand your hesitation there, but well done. All right, let's go for a second one. There is a key chord. Okay, now I'll give you it to a second time. Give you your key chord again. Perfect, imperfect, interrupted or Plagal. Do we have any takers? Imperfect is the correct answer, Jackie. Ah, and Cynthia is... Oh, maybe I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. Cyanetha, sorry. Tell me if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But yes, you're both right. It's an imperfect cadence. Okay, let's move on to another one. There is a key chord. Okay. Ah, Dan the Man's loving this. Thank you, Dan the Man. I'm loving your participation as well. Okay, get it a second time. Give you the key chord again. And your phrase. Perfect, imperfect, plagal or interrupted. We have one answer so far from Jackie, who says it's a perfect cadence. Cyanetha, sorry, is saying perfect again. Any other takers? Okay, you're both correct. All right. As I was explaining before, if Cyanetha's just joined us, sometimes people with faster internet connections get in there first. But well done to both of you. Okay, let's do a third one. Okay, fourth one even. Right, here is a key chord. Perfect, imperfect, plagal or interrupted. Jackie's going for a plagal. I'll give some other people a chance to answer as well. But here is the phrase again. And Dan the Man is saying plagal as well. You are both correct. And this time, Jackie, you didn't put a question mark at the end of plagal, so well done. Okay, can you hear that amen sort of ending? Amen. It sounds finished, but not as strongly as a perfect cadence. Okay, we'll do one more of these, I think. Okay, here is a key chord. And here is your phrase. Okay. Cyanetha's having an exam in 3 days. And could you tell us what grade you're taking, Cyanetha? I'll play that phrase again. Grade 8. So this is very useful for you. I'm assuming grade 8 ABRSM, is that? Anyway, we're all getting into a chat about Cyanetha's exam. Anyone got an answer for this question? Was that perfect, imperfect, plagal or interrupted? Jackie's going for a plagal again. Anyone else? I'll play you... Okay, Dan the man, please dip in. Be brave, Dan the man. And see an ether, it's good practice for you. Come on, let's have an answer. I'll give you a clue. Unfortunately, Jackie was not correct. Let's play it one more time. Okay, here's your key chord. Dan the man thinks it's imperfect. Right, I want you to listen carefully to the last chord. Aurora, you are correct. That is a major chord. Can you hear it? Major. And we started in a minor key. Now when we change modality with a little surprise at the end, from major to minor or minor to major, that's an interrupted cadence. I'll just play the last phrase again. And the surprise. Oops, I'm not reading it. Talking too much. You hear the major chord at the end. Right, now, let's do a few more of these since we're getting a little bit more participation in this. Okay. What key are we in? Major or minor? That's an important question to ask yourself at the beginning of these tests. Quite a long one. Here's your second playing. Did that sound finished or unfinished? Sorry, Dan the man, it's not imperfect. Any other takers? Where's Aurora and Jackie gone and Cianetha? Well done, Beppo, a new taker. It is perfect. Yeah? If I play the key chord at the beginning, and then the last three chords of the actual phrase, that last chord is the key chord. Finished. Perfect. Okay? Right. We'll do a few more of these before we round up today. Another key chord for you. Would that be a perfect, imperfect, plagal or interrupted cadence? We now have another participant, Beppo, so join in if you wish to. Jackie's going for imperfect. And Beppo also is going for imperfect. Or Beppo, I'm not sure how you pronounce that correctly. You're both correct. Internet connection or otherwise, Jackie was there first. So, let's try 2 more before we round up today. Okay, here's a key chord. And here is a phrase. I'll play it a second time. Perfect, imperfect, plagal or interrupted. Here's your key chord again. Beppo's saying interrupted. And you are correct. You're the first one there on that particular question. Do you notice that the last chord was a minor chord? And the key chord that I gave you at the beginning is major. That's always a nice easy trick to hear the interrupted cadence. Okay, we'll do one more of these before we go on to something else. Okay, here is another key chord. Right. Am I famous? Only possibly on YouTube, but not really. Tan Kian Wee saying perfect. Do we have any more takers to that question? I'll play it a second time. Here is your key chord again. And Beppo's going for a plagal cadence. Well done, Beppo. Okay, now, Sianita, you asked if I could do modulations. Actually, just recently we did a live stream oral where we concentrated on modulations. Okay, and if anyone wants to see any of my previous live streams, there should be a little eye in the top of your screen, a little info card, where you can have a link to where all my previous live streams are, okay? And I'll put it in the description below the video. I think it's already actually in the description, where you can listen to all the previous live stream. That's for the patrons of Music Online UK. Also, if you've enjoyed today and it's your first time here, then make sure you've got the notification bell. I tend to put these live streams out about twice a month. So you'll know when they're coming up and you can join in from the start, because some of you seem to have joined in halfway through and it's been fun for you. But the beginning of this live stream, there was only like 1 and then 2 joined in, then 3 joined in, and we had a few more people, and it made it a bit more fun for everyone. Put the notification bell on. It'll be about this sort of time when I do put them on, about twice a month, and you can join in right from the start and we can make these interactive little quizzes that much more fun for everybody. Okay, and also make sure you do subscribe. But for now, we've got to sign off for today. We've been live for about 45 minutes. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. And hope to see you all again and some more of you next time. But for now, thanks again.